hold you a moment in the current, till a new one finds you. Then release this muscular silver fish with clear eyes and a heart grown beyond the afflictions of sand. So things can get better. You can heal. But you have to work at it. And sometimes you have to sift through everything you've gotten, the gifts and the other stuff. And this is about Friend's journey through her photograph collection. And it was written because I enjoy very much seeing online the TED City talks. I don't know if ever, well, I see a fan. Good. There was one guy who was just doing a 5-minute one, who was a filmmaker in California, who had just lost everything to a house fire. And his comment was, there's not much left after you have film in your house and it burns. So here's somebody else's experience of photographs. Memories on fire. Working through a weight of fading Kodak colors, you excavate, screen the artifacts through your fine heart to reconstruct a house of memories. First days at school, first summers under mango trees, everything left behind in the emptied rooms, everything kept. Then cameras found bright faces, or concealed in silhouette angry hearts against blazing sunsets. Looking back has everything to do with where the light is. Looking forward, much the same. Where's the shot? What to take? What to burn? I always think of this circus poem as being political, and we must all be feeling political these days. I think I wrote it during a different crisis, though. So listen for the politics, or listen for the country. Thoughts outside the circus tent. Tonight, we expect magic. Your words on a tightrope, a new trick with mirrors. But in the no man's land before the stage, your real self, wide-eyed and shocked, anticipates the end of this. The juggler's pins burning up and nothing left to hold on to, like the country we cared about. Now all the issues are national. The 3-ring players slack-jawed with no ceremony to master, and I am yearning for white doves and your old incantations. When the night came on too fast 20 years ago, we were innocent of so much. The only country we cared about, the words spinning on the tip of your tongue. And the words were broad leaves, tall suns, and so many small birds at twilight. Hush now, while I search the trees and hold my ground in no man's land, that luminous country between two birches. And we're coming to the end of my set, and I always like to end with a choice. So the choice is, well, the choice is optimistic or not.
Left hand.
All right, left, right.
Give us both, Julie.
Oh, okay. All right, coalition. There's a music. All right, we'll go happy and then we'll go pensive. Okay. No title. You bring me roses, a bouquet unwrapped from ribbons and cellophane to celebrate in cut glass, like dancers caught in pirouette, each one a promise, reaching for destiny. Each day I see them, still sitting in the cool sunlight, defying the season, their living breath caught in bubbles clinging to blunted thorns. We never know when hope stops in the bud, or why. But these open wide and wider again, each blossom your full heart opening the gift of future. And this one, to conclude, is called Selling the Family Home. I would, of course, never do such a thing. It's somebody else's family home. And I would never pack up a home, which is why everything is still in my basement. But my friend's family was moving from their house in Montreal, and this is the experience. Selling the family home. My lover tells me stories of friends when he was 5 and 7 and 17. The camps, cottages, universities, neighborhood legends of mansions and masquerades, photographs prove. After 40 years, my lover's father retired far away from the house of his marriage, taking only a painting, while my lover's mother remained archivist of the family history. We find her own in a box labeled mementos. There, she tucked the random love notes of the suitor she married, and despite his departure, keeps evidence, like faith, of things gone invisible, but substance still. Thanks very much.
I appreciated the circus poem and how you associated it with our political climate, because as far as I'm concerned, all party leaders are nothing but a bunch of clowns when it comes to Canada. Anyway, that's my opinion. Anyway, you can debate it with me. Yeah, there's a break. Let's go. Let's have it out. Another thing you can do at the break is visit Julie. Yeah, and buy a book. Or you can visit Laska and buy a drink. And if you're hungry, she'll order you food. She'll have it brought here too. We're going to take a 15-minute break. A hat is going to be passed around for donations to artist expenses. And we'll be back with our second feature, Norman Christofoli. Thank you. We'll be ready to start with our next feature. Everybody buy food, buy drinks, yeah? That's good. I'm glad. These guys have. Look at that, pictures. They got the right idea. You get a gold star. Okay, so here we are for our second feature of the night. I was going to read the bio provided to me. But I'll tell you a story to introduce this next poet. It concerns an 18-year-old Valentino Essenza being shy as hell in the beaches to go read his poetry. And one night, maybe the second or third night that he was doing this thing, guy comes up to him and says, I'd like to put some of your stuff in my book. I'm thinking, man, this guy looks like a big-time publisher. Struck it rich. But anyway, I did strike it rich, in a manner of speaking, because he gave me the opportunity to start publishing my work, and gave me a little more confidence to get it out there and do what I do. And it's a story, I guess, that not only myself, but several other people can tell, that he's given that kind of confidence to, that he's given that kind of opportunity to. He runs a small press that's called Labor of Love, and he comes out with a magazine a couple of times a year. He's published chapbooks for myself and for several other people. He's also responsible for something which I find very important in terms of building a community. He created an artist network by the name of coffeehouse.ca, and I think it's very important to build a community, especially as artists and poets. it's an extremely important thing to build a community, and Norm's done that, and he's been a heck of an inspiration to myself. He's been a fantastic friend, and I'm so glad that I get to introduce him. And I'm sorry if I'm stuttering a little bit, but you know, we don't keep in touch as much, but that doesn't mean he doesn't count when it comes to my poetry career and a lot of others. So I'm really honored to present to you the co-founder of coffeehouse.ca and the publisher and chief there of Labor of Love, Norman Christoffel, everybody.
As Val said, I publish a magazine called Labor of Love. I've got some back issues here. Got one of my own CDs, plus a CD from Labor of Love. It's actually got one of Val's poems on it. Or is it two? Two, just one. And it's got some of Nick Beat stuff. It's got a bunch of good music and everything as well. Everything, the magazines, the CDs, you're more than welcome to. Come see me afterwards. You can have them for free. The next issue of the magazine comes out at the end of the year, so if you want to submit something, you're more than welcome to, and there's contact information on the inside. This is called The Burning Man. Beneath the star-filled heavens that fall below the horizon, the gray mists of time fade like a gentle wind, and the darkness goes deep into the abyss of my soul. Whoa! What the fuck was that crap? Did I just spew some feeble attempt at classical poetry? Holy shit, that's not me. It's not who I am. Not my reality. I am fire. I am blood. I am the passion of the sun, the sensuality of nature. I am the fight against no reason and the love for no cause. I am peace. I am war. I am the end of religion and the beginning of time. I am the explosion, the eruption, the howling wind. I am the calm, the silence, the naked breath. I am anarchy, and I am stability. I am foundation. I am chaos. I am word. I am thought. I am muscle and nerve and bone. I am life, looking for death. I am poet, wandering through the land of skulls. Don't fit in. If all the world is a stage, then I'm sitting in the last row of the tattered balcony seats, empty glass in my hand, and gum stuck to the bottom of my shoe. Sometimes I feel like an alien on a planet of surrealistic fools, surrounded by beings that are blind to the visions that I can see, drifting through a sleepless nightmare on the oceans of insanity. I don't fit in, like the one burnt-out bulb in a crystal chandelier or a hacking cough during a symphonic pause, like a whisper of smoke from the smoldering ashes of a once glorious bonfire. Look at this carcass. What do you see? Can your minds even slightly grasp this complicated assemblage of atoms? 6 billion people in this catatonic world, not a single one of them know me, for I am alone in my thoughts. I don't fit in. I don't fit into their temples and churches and mosques. I listen to their songs of praise and they mean nothing to me. They worship an idea that falls short of my expectations. They believe, but they do not understand. They fear the power of their idea, and they fear the possibility that their idea may not be real. They read the book, but they cannot comprehend the intricate simplicity of I am that I am. I just don't fit in. I walk through their cities like I walk through a forest. I am alone, even though life teems in abundance. I push my way through the foliage like I push my way through their false ideologies. I walk softly amid the trees and the troglodytes, the populars and the populace. The sycamores and the psychopaths, the underbrush and the uninvolved, trees that walk and humans that are rooted to bewildering dogma, plants and people vacant of thought, life, and nothing more. If ignorance is bliss, then I'm a bomb, a breathing explosion of truth and light, an apocalyptic thunderstorm of reality. And like a gavel of truth pounding upon a sore thumb, I throb with a pain that won't subside. A pain that gnaws inside me like the emptiness of a bottomless hole. I want to grab humanity by the neck and shake the masses from their stupor. I want to smack their faces with the sharp slap of reality. I want to show them that the image in the mirror is just a reflection of physics, of atoms, of flesh and blood and other disposable molecules, and that within that reflection of external deformities is a soul, and that the soul is the only thing for which they need to seek. Death will not provide the answers. Death will only stop your questions. I don't fit in, so I wrote this poem. My visions come from a different place. I just don't fit into this human race. One solitary being with nothing to lose. I live a reality so different from you. I see the old and I see the weak, and I can see your sickness as we speak. I see your hate and I see your war. I see your money stuffed into the whore. I see society wallowing in the mud. I pray for earthquakes. I worship the flood. And if your nukes don't burn you, the lack of ozone will. And I know that a plague won't cure all of your ills, but it'll sure make me feel better. And if I really had a bomb, I'd know what to do. Put it in a condom. Make love to you. So call me brave Ulysses, adrift upon the sea. I don't fit into this fucking world, and it won't fit into me. I don't fit in with the poets or the artists, the intellectuals or the outellectuals, the famous, the freaks, the flops. I don't fit in with the sophisticated gentry or the ignorant slobs, the in or the out crowd, the wannabe, the has-beens, or the trailer park trash. I don't fit in with the gays, the straights, the bis, the highs, the clean, the clear, the saved, or the lost. I don't fit in with the savage or the meek. I don't fit in with the saints or the sinners, the saviors, the rebels, or the conformists. I just don't fit in, and I don't know why. Sometimes I want to. I'm tired of not fitting in. I'm tired of being alone. Can't you see that I've been damned? This bitter, lonely, desolate man, this freak show that I truly am? God, I cannot continue with this sham. I don't want nails in my wrists and feet. I don't want to live with your defeat. I'm tired of hiding behind my laugh. I want the world that I can never have, flickering like a candle in this darkened room. Perhaps it's time to face my doom and fall into that ocean of humanity, and let my soul drown in the murky depths of insanity. Take this burden of knowledge away from me and wrap me in your cloak of conspiracy. Blind my eyes with the bliss of ignorance, and let me quietly blend into that great melange of humankind. But I just don't fit in, and I never, ever will. And I thank God isn't God for that. Thank you. Poetry's lost something. It's all about words and art and stuff like that. It used to be magic. Julie wrote a couple of poems that talked about magic. Thousands of years ago, that's exactly what it was. It was magic. The bards and the shamans, they used their words for magical reasons. When somebody died, they would be the ones that guide them to the other world. And when someone was born, they would bring the blessings, hoping that this would be a wonderful life. I want poetry to be magic again. So you're going to help me. participation piece. And it's very simple. You don't have to, but then you won't feel the magic. This is a poem called Meditation. And I'd like you to do a mantra. And the mantra is very, very simple. It's just the letter O. All you have to do is just say, O. And when you run out of breath, you just say it again. And what happens? Everybody is doing it, and then all of a sudden the room starts to fill with magic. I'll start it off, and you know it's over when I do it again, but really loud. And I'm going to read this poem over top of your magic that you're going to create. And you are going to lead them all. Let it go. Let it go. Let it go. Let it go. Let go of the memory. Let go of the will. Let go of desire. Let go and be still. Let go of your arrogant, skeptical pride. Let go and accept the spirit inside. Let go of your anger that hardens your soul. Break yourself down so that you can be whole. Let it go. Let it go. Let it go. Let it go. Listen to the color. Watch the sound. Dance on the wind. Fly on the ground. Close your eyes and allow yourself to be the infinite passion of reality. Leave all your physical essences behind. Let your soul be blessed with sparks divine. Let it go. Let it go. Let it go. Let it go. Oh. Thank you. Last one. This is a love poem. It was written for somebody. Obviously, it's a love poem. This also needs your participation, and it's very simple. Typhoon, or the flood of emotions from a blessed monsoon, like thunder and lightning in the month of June, or a sky that's filled with a big orange moon, and thump, 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 my heart goes boom. She moves me like the thriving pulse of African drums, a kinetic energy that sparks electricity with each kiss. A million drummers pound out the rhythm of our hearts, and like a long, blistering guitar solo, I sway to the lullaby of her soul. My sensations explode like cymbals clashing. I want to dive into her heart like the deep, deep notes of a golden bassoon, and feel her like the heavy thump of a bass guitar that is vibrating through the room. I want to blow her like Dexter Gordon's saxophone, playing a long, slow, sultry tune, and then thump, thump, thump. My heart goes boom. I live for those moments of flesh on flesh when magic fills the air like a catastrophe about to happen. We splash our colors over the bed like abstract artists in an inspired frenzy, sculpting our desires like a Michelangelo marble, dancing through the hues of the unconsciousness over the brilliant rainbow of euphoria, repeating every word like a sonorous echo. I inscribe my Nordic rune, cast my bones before Zeus and Neptune. I want to journey deep into her paradise womb, open my chest cavity and offer her my doom, and thump, thump, thump. My heart goes boom. Van Morrison could be singing on a street corner and I'd walk by without even noticing. Van Gogh could be painting in my garden, painting sunflowers. I'd probably trip over his easel. Freud could be analyzing my psyche and dreams, and I would just be mumbling gobbledygook. Einstein could be sitting with me in a coffee shop, and I wouldn't even think to ask him about relativity. For I have this heart, and it only beats for her. And my head is swimming in a sea of stars when my body suddenly slips into a scientific vacuum. I breathe her in like a sensuous perfume. I reach up and I pull my passions down from the moon. And then thump, thump, thump. My heart goes boom. She has a heart the size of an ocean, and her passion could fill the deepest well. She has enough desire to conquer any army, and I love her because she loves me without compromise. She has the sun in her eyes and the moon on her lips, and she feels like the soft reverberations of a piano played at twilight. She smells like excitement, and she feels like midnight, and she can break me with her beauty, and she moves me like a storm. She can open me like a volcano and split me like an earthquake. My knees buckle like a falling tree. My legs give way to gravity. My feelings soar. My emotions zoom, and I would bleed from her like a mortal wound. And thump, thump, thump. My heart goes boom. She is my lyric, and she is my rhyme. She is my poet, and I so desperately want to be her crime. We all have curses, and she is mine. And I want to hear it softly, so please turn down the volume. Thump, thump, thump.
My heart goes boom.
Now this one is for me alone. Standing here stripped of all costume, this humbled poet sans nom de plume, this enamored, love-struck, bumbling buffoon. Thump, thump, thump. This heart goes boom. Thank you.
Free if you want them.
Another round of applause for Norman Christoffoli, everybody. Please go ahead, take a look at his magazine, and send him some poetry, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to take a 15-minute break. In the meantime...
Okay.
Okay, yeah, Rob. Sure. Thank you very
Well, the next issue I'm actually working on right now. Putting it together. And, what's more? 6 months. Hey! Okay, good. Glad you got the interview. Did you hear those things? Take one of each if you like. That's great. Thank you very much.
Hi Norm, Pat Connors. I'm on your mailing list. We've communicated a couple of times. Nice to see you, Cryptic Chatter. And I got one of your books here. So, yeah, there's different issues.
One spot left.
Yeah, there's 3. Yeah. Which one's more recent?
Yours?
Which one of these is that one? This one. Great. Awesome.
To introduce the third reader for the evening. She's eager as could be to come up here. And we have eager fans of hers that are eager to hear her. And the word for the evening is eager. Use for the open micers that are coming up, new rule, you have to write a poem with the word eager in it. No, I'm kidding. But if there is a poet out there that is hip to the task, I would love to hear that creation. Let's see how brave they are. This guy's great. I mean, we have a lot of great people in here. Omaha Rising, photographer extraordinaire. Dave Klink, who I think has the best tie in the house.
The only tie.
Nick Beat, who has the best blazer in the house. Edward Nixon won't be happy to hear that. He usually has the best blazer in the house, but he's not here.
That's true.
And James Dewar has the best scruff in the house. I got the best fro. Sorry, everybody. All right. So, up next is the one and only Mina Wallen. Mina Wallen is the author of 3 chapbooks and 1 full collection of poetry, 1,000 profane pieces, located right there on the bar for sale from Tightrope Books. Her poetry has appeared in such journals as Existare, Kiss Machine, and the Literary Review of Canada. She hosts In Other Words on CKLN 88.1 FM on the 2nd Tuesday of every month. Currently, she is the poetry editor at Tightrope Books, and let me say she is an enormous supporter of the Toronto scene and literary scene. Very happy to know her, and I've known her for a while. Please welcome Mina Wallen, everybody.
Thank you, Valentino. That was a lovely introduction. And I also want to thank Heather for inviting me to read tonight. And also congratulate my co-readers, Julie and Norm, who I've known both of them for a very long time. I've known Julie since we were both volunteers at Rogers TV, and Norm since he published one of my very first poems, so it's a pleasure to be reading with them. The very first thing I want to start with is a cover poem. On my radio show today, my guest was Christopher Doda, who wrote a book. His second book is Aesthetics Lesson, which I highly recommend. And we had a really great conversation about, well, one of the themes that runs throughout this book, life versus art. Does life support art? Does art support life? Ongoing question. Anyway, one of these poems illustrates that beautifully. It's called Gielgud's Death Scenes. 1. Sir John played each of his death scenes as rehearsals for a final exit. He died as old men die, in a circumference of film crew, his Hamlet long behind him with a body fit and trim. 2. A night of loving charms, late in a line of fake lords with paper fates and plastic swords, an MGM coat of arms. He learned about dying, the art of dismal, infirm men with liver spots and shaking hands, and death to crush his paper heart. Departure may come with a swell of a Hollywood score, as terrible calm runs to his core and senses go numb. There may be an urge to sing, with lips soft and moist, over the prompting little voice that says, "Steady, John, this is the real thing." 3. After he uttered his 20-second set of last words, he told the BBC, "This is getting easier. It's becoming, to me, rather reflexive." However, and this is a big however, when the grim messenger came with bad news, it was all hands held up in a well-known gesture of supplication. Well, yes indeed. I have used you countless times in my craft, but you see, I was only acting. I'm going to read just 2 poems from my book that was published in 2006, 1,000 Profane Pieces. And I thought I'd read klezmer music on Christmas Eve because of the timeliness. Away from the reindeer and the tinsel, Jewish singles congregate, searching for that elusive other. And the faith is incidental to most of the secular Jews, who are looking for old-fashioned love with all the trimmings. Brimming with earnest hope and cynical voices, no, I'd never come to this sort of event. Never. This last, of course, said behind artfully painted red lips, poised demurely, meeting a coffee cup, still smiling. Group denial. We're here, but my friend dragged me along, didn't tell me what it was. Obvious hunger, but we'll die before we admit it. If life were a perpetual singles buffet, I'd throw up from the indecency of desire. Outside, we keep on smiling. I never want to pack myself in leather again, cleavage provoking the shy. I never want to expose myself to taut misery again, hope contracted so tight you can hear it snap when it breaks. This is called The Other Young Ones. You look like Cat Stevens. Who? Fresh, unspoiled, tangle of black curls, eyes of a zealot. In the 70s, young men wore tight faded denim falling apart by degrees, anti-establishment, no logos. A guitar in one hand, hash pipe in the other. I remember the boys in my Renaissance class looking like a touring production of Hair. Free, naked, beautiful. It's what you remind me of. Childhood I never had, your bicycle shorts, skateboard career, maybe your Tour de France gold, and me, my gray roots showing, drunk on gin and tonics. Live fast, live hard, a method actor I once loved, followed Jim Dean's credo. Live fast, die young. You remind me of him somehow, and the other young ones, the Cheshire Cats, their hard teeth grinning in the dark. It really is hot up here. It's no place for a leather jacket. So this is new stuff. This is called Death, Wildlife, and Taxes. My dentist recommends porcelain veneers. They're costly, but I worry without them, my teeth will erode in my mouth from grinding like so much sand. I worry about taxes every year, avoiding the task, the ungodly embarrassment of realizing that my career as a writer brings me to the poverty line and a few odd jobs help me cross it. Walking home the other day, I came across a dead raccoon, splayed out on the street, head between its paws as if in prayer at a mosque. There wasn't a tread mark on it. It must have fallen from the sky, and in a moment of lost footing taken its last breath. Now the big tree arched over it protectively, shielding it from too much summer sun. I worry about its babies left to fend for themselves. Strangely enough, it was suffused by a presence of peace. My impulse was to lay down on the gravel with this great furry beast, the air warm and still, and embrace it. I wanted so much to envelop that peace, to say my goodbyes, extend compassion for a well-lived life, to mark its passing with a gesture or a word. You fed your young and foraged for garbage. You dodged passing cars and made the best of a displaced life. Perhaps you enjoyed the thrill of it. the thrill and chase of it or felt stress like the rest of us. I thought of my mother, who at my age had to face the fact that she was dying, that she had 3 children to leave to her husband's care. She couldn't tell anyone how frightened she was. She had to be strong. I'm sure she would have preferred to fall from the sky than face certain knowledge of death each day as she struggled to swallow tapioca, pudding, and plastic chicken. My father would tell me to smile before I went into the hospital room. Be cheerful, he'd say. And the word cancer was rarely spoken. Your mother is ill, polite euphemisms. Now, cancer is a television commercial, a spirited run to raise money or a black tie affair. We're upbeat now. Cancer can be beaten. Back then it beat you. I worry at my annual mammogram. One year, the radiologist noticed a cloudy mass, a tiny speck indistinguishable as good or bad cells. I nearly fainted at the recall appointment when he told me I was fine. Relief flooded me like absolution. That is, if Jews could be magically absolved from sin. We carry it around as guilt indefinitely. But old habits won't loosen their grip. I worry all the time. A habit so entrenched, it would feel like I was being disrespectful if I let my guard down for even a moment. Sorry. Thank you very much. Actually, somebody once told me I'm the only person who actually deflected applause. No, that's okay. And this is called They Huddle on My Lawn. Don't worry, it's not all dark. There's some humor. They huddle on my lawn. The paparazzi are huddled on my lawn, between the fir tree and the wide patch of snow. Creeping damp. The ones wearing cut-off gloves blow on their fingers. They all carry cameras with expensive zooms. They're waiting to see what I'll have for lunch. Perhaps I'll blow them a kiss, bring them hot chocolate. Though my lawyer warns me, keep your distance. My last little book, picked up by Oprah, was made into a Hollywood movie. Can't go to Starbucks anymore, yet they snub me at the Gillers. Sometimes I think I had more fun in the old days, invisible writer, guzzling draft and borrowing friends' money. Now it's photo shoots, author profiles. I've got an agent, a trainer, a young male assistant. Don't write much anymore. But still they ask me, who are you wearing? This was an exercise. I don't know if any of you do it once a year. CB2 has a contest, and they send you 10 words that must be used in a poem. And you did it?
Yeah.
You've done it? Did you win?
No, the word penguin killed me in that.
Okay.
Penguin was one of the 10 words.
That would be tough. That would be tough. My year it was thorax. So the 10 words were nervous, sienna, wrench, vessel, buckle, proof, rattle, filament, article, and thorax. Okay. So I wrote something called film noir. I like to call it a genre poem. It's my first. I was nervous by association. It wasn't my rusted Toyota Sienna the cops were looking for. She could have used a wrench to split his useless head in two, but no, she wanted to see every vessel in his face pop, see him hang by his own belt. He didn't think she'd really do it, pull the chair out from under him, quite literally. So he obliged, tightened the buckle, while she waved a fake gun around and screamed. Proof women can be intimidating when they're angry enough. But you haven't a shred of proof, he kept saying. She thought it was beneath her to have to lay out the clues like so many tarot cards. By the time a small and unearthly death rattle emerged from his bruised throat, she felt regret. Not as much as when she sat in her cell, nothing but the flickering filament from an overhead bulb for company, until I showed up and told her the truth. She'd left only one article of unassailable evidence at the scene, her partial thumbprint on his thorax. Perhaps she drew his lifeless body close, one trembling hand over his heart before she ran. But I saw her fleeing the stairwell and into the parking lot to her rusted Toyota Sienna. I didn't want him, I added cruelly, as if that mattered anymore. It was just sex. Of course, that wasn't true either. I loved him more than she did, but the old story, he wouldn't leave her. So I left proof of the affair inside his pockets. A phone number here, a condom wrapper there. It was relatively easy. Care of the rest.
Thank you.
Okay, the next one is a short one. This is, you'll recognize what it's about right away. It's called High School Never Really Went Away. My fun wall is broken. My hatching eggs stillborn. There's a glitch in my movie compatibility program, and my virtual martini is virtually undrinkable. I get requests hourly to be friends with people I have never heard of. I have over 200 close personal friends who all want me to know what they're doing right now. I've joined groups which I don't visit or even know why they exist. People write me letters. Some want to cook me dinner and rub my toes, while others hurl obscenities. I'm confused. I'm tired. I'm so over Facebook.
We missed you.
This is the last one. It's called The Self as Both Object and Subject. And there's an epigraph by Cindy Sherman. I ran out of stereotypes. I've played Mrs. Robinson so long the young men expect it. But I've grown tired of my persona. I'll finish Confessions of a Reluctant Cougar. Hope it sells better than 1,000 profane pieces, because what artist isn't a mere mercenary after all? Hope it reels in a few more readers just gullible enough to swallow the fabricated persona I've grown to hate. Well, isn't that what postmodernism is? A constructed self drawn from the wreckage of old memories played out on bedsheets? I'll be your fantasy whore as long as it's a critical success. To hell with my private life, if there is such a thing. That tryst with the trumpet player, for example. Meeting in hotel bars, playing out the requisite scenes. A young Charlie Parker playing You Don't Know What Love Is when you throw me down on your bed. It's all staged, I promise you. Even the heat, low moans, manufactured. And like Cindy, I too am running out of stereotypes, running out of excuses, running for cover. You can imagine what you want until then, and I deeply encourage it, this duplicity of meaning, of motive, of self. Nothing left but a trace of lipstick on a martini, a puff of smoke exhaled from red lips, a pair of empty stilettos under the bed. I see them look, these younger ones. For some reason they know I've got tricks to impart. I'm not saying I don't. Still, I long to play mahjong with the girls, drink jasmine tea. I'll be in bed by midnight in one of these constructions, doing a crossword. My saddle and my riding crop hung up for good. Thanks.
Another round of applause for Mina Wallen, everybody. Thank you for that, Mina. That was fantastic. The Facebook poem was priceless. We're going to take a short break, and we're going to be back with our open mic set. The open mic is full. So for those of you that want to read on the open mic, I'm very, very sorry. But 10 people got up here before you did. We'll see you in a bit.